All right, today we're back with another multiplication lesson. This one's using the algebraic notation method. I think you're going to like this method. It's very similar to the expanded notation method. In fact, I want to review that before we get started just so I can point out kind of the similarities. So let's go ahead and look at the expanded notation that we did really recently, and that's with the problem 36 times 5. The expanded notation part is when we rewrite the problem 36 times 5, we expand 36 to 30 plus 6. We didn't need to expand the 5 because it's just in the ones place, it's one number. We put the 5 here. We end up then multiplying the 5 times 30 and the 5 times 6. And you can see 5 times 30 is 150, 5 times 6 is 30, and we get 180. So the algebraic notation method, it's very similar. I think one thing you're going to like about it is a little less writing. But the more complicated part, I guess, is that we're using some algebra type sentences. And I know fourth graders, we haven't done that yet. That's going to be the second half of the year, but it's not that complicated. And I think actually you'll start to kind of understand some algebra by this lesson here using this algebraic notation method. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's take that same problem, 36 times 5. And we've kind of talked this year on how I can see it written like this. 36 times 5, or I can see it written like this. And we're actually going to use the other method of setting up a multiplication problem, not this way, but writing it so it looks like kind of a sentence left to right. So I'm going to get 36 times 5, and I'm going to put an equal sign. Then I'm going to go ahead and borrow my knowledge of expanded notation to do the other side of this. So I have 36 times 5 is equal to, well, it's equal to, I'm going to take the 5, okay, and it's equal to 5 times, I could say 36, and it would be true, 36 times 5 is equal to or the same as 5 times 36. But here's where the algebra comes in. It's equal to 5 times something that I'm going to put in parentheses. And we see these parentheses in algebra problems. And here's where our expanded notation comes in. Well, 36 expanded notation is 30 plus 6. So I'm going to fill this in the same way. 30 plus 6 times 5. And because it's the way it's written was a multiplication problem, it's really 5 times 30 and 5 times 6, which looks the same as this. I'm going to go ahead and put another equal sign. I'm going to keep this side the same, 36 times 5, and now I'm going to multiply the same way I did with the expanded notation method. I'm going to multiply 5 times 30, which is 150. And then I'm going to multiply 5 times 6, which is 30. And I'm going to add those two together. And my sentence is still true. 36 times 5 is equal to 150 plus 30. Or I could make it even a little simpler. I know 150 plus 30 equals 180. And you can see it's the same answer. I wrote down maybe fewer numbers here. This is our algebraic notation method. We use our knowledge of expanded notation, and we just multiply 5 times 30 and the 5 times 6. We can then make these sentences. Next, why don't you turn to page 56. I'll give you just a minute. Page 56 in your math packet for this unit. I'll let you grab that, and then we'll go ahead and kind of continue the algebraic notation method together. All right, let's zoom in a little bit, and I kind of showed you how to work the whole problem, and they went back to our place value method here at the beginning. So let's just kind of fill that in together, and that will be a little bit of a review, and we can kind of then fill in how our algebraic sentences or algebraic notation method kind of works. So we have 8 times 62. Do you remember the number that goes here? You can fill that in. And then we break up 62 using expanded notation. So here we go. Hopefully you filled in a 6. Oh, I got that wrong. Hopefully you filled in an 8 there. And then 62, that's where our 6 comes in, but it's 60 plus 2. And then using our algebraic notation method, you can see this little dot here is the same as multiplying. So 8 times 62, and we're going to change that to, or make the sentence on this side equal to. So I'm going to put my 8 here, so 8 times, and then I'm going to use my expanded notation, 60 plus 2. I'm going to put that here. And you can see they filled in the next part. 8 times 60 is 480. And 8 times 2 is 16. If I add those two together, it equals 496. And then all three of these sentences are true. 8 times 62 is the same as 8 times 60 plus 2 in parentheses. And it's the same as 8 times 62 is equal to 480 plus 16. And here we have our answer. 8 times 62 is equal to 496. I'm going to let you go ahead and fill in our place value drawing. And this drawing give you a little bit of a head start, and then I'll go ahead and fill in those answers. Well, that wasn't too bad. I bet you filled those in before I did. Again, we can look and see 2 times 97, it's equal to this side, it's equal to this side, and then here we have the answer. 2 times 97 is 194. This next part, I'm going to set it up for you so we can look at the last problem on this page. And it says there are 9 members of a school's golf team. Each golfer hit a bucket of 68 golf balls at the driving range. How many golf balls did the entire team hit? It's a multiplication problem because it's about groups. I have 9 members, and each of those members, each golfer hit 68 golf balls. So it's 68 9 times, okay? Or 9 members hit 68 golf balls. Each of them hit 68. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up here. And I'm going to look at, I can see this one here. So I know the problem is 9 times 68. And I'm going to do my equal sign. And then I'm going to put one number here, times. And then I have my parentheses. Okay. Then I have an equal sign here, and one more equal sign underneath, and that's going to be my answer. I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint here. The 9 goes here, right? And then you're going to use expanded notation for 68. So you're going to have that, the 10s here, and then the 1s. And then we're going to do 2 multiplication problems, right? 9 times this number and 9 times this number. That's going to be your answers to those. Are going to be here, right? Just like up here. 2 times 90 was 180. 2 times 7 was 14. So you're going to multiply 9 times that number, 9 times that number, and your 2 answers are going to go here. You'll add those 2 sums, and that'll be your final answer. And that is the answer to 9 times 68. When you have that done, you can go ahead and show me your answer.